Gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Pannonian Avars series, in which we will continue to make a little progress on on wrapping up the advances in the two territories remain, one in Bosnia and Herzegovina and the other in Croatia. But the reason why we didn't do that in the previous episode, because we did fight against Serbia. We were originally going to take Zelangora, and we found out that the ruler was excommunicated, and so we fought in an excommunication war, which gives us a little more piety that I won't need for the eventual conversion to Catholicism, because the Orthodox faith is starting to not be quite useful to us anymore. It had its uses for over 100 years, but now that time is coming to pass, and we must look westward in terms of, who and what would be involved in the family of nations, especially with dealing other matters such as dealing with these heretics from afar. And I wouldn't mind one bit to sending, some of my, you could say, volunteers to intervene in other countries' wars, especially when rooting out heresy. And if there's ever going to be a crusade for Jerusalem, we'll be there, if we have the money. Otherwise, we'll just be sending our elite knights, which will be unofficially we would be referring to them as the CSF, the Carpathian Special Forces, due to the knights' effectiveness, the number of its members, which all depends on their prowess, skill, and whatnot. Trust me, it'll work out for us, despite the fact that we've cut the costs in the Carpathian army, because we're not economically strong, especially that Khatun Katiarika, who is generous, which doesn't give out much wealth, and instead she's charitable. But still, she has excellent prowess, which is considered without equal. If only she was born Amazonian, then maybe we'd be having other thoughts about her. But she is killing herself well. But she has no son yet. And we know that this is a male-dominated world, so it would be wise to have a son soon. So I'm going to start seducing my Khagan, Khatun, so I can lay with them and hope for another child. Hopefully not another daughter, because of there's a word for that. Partition, yes. Partition. And also later at some point we're going to increase the crown authority laws again. All the way. Not to mention saving some prestige to adopt another one of its traditions, as there is room for another, since we're in High Medieval. Speaking of which, as for the High Medieval tech, we already did have all the early medieval, except for this one, but we'll let that go because I don't really care about the naval speed, because we hardly ever travel out at sea to anywhere these days. But should there ever be a crusade for Jerusalem, at least we'll get the ships moving again. That also means if you were to depart to the Holy Land, the best place to set off would be in Ragusa, which will be the objective to take in its future. Keep that well in mind. Or alternative from that way, it depends on how many sea zones are there. Surprised nobody has ever thought about retaking Crete, which is a largely Islamicized Cretan country, and all that. Now, where were we? Yes, situation at hand. That we'll be raising our money just a little bit. Build up your little war chest before you start another war against Serbia to take Zelangora, and also to fight against Thessalonica for Ragusa. But still, I feel like I could have sworn I thought we had Istria, but no. Well, we are allied with Carinthia, because I wouldn't mind to intervene in one of other people's wars, whether if it's in the west or in the east. So for now, we'll continue on. What happened to you, man? Whatever you did in your previous life, and doesn't have as much money as it used to, so I'm sure he's been spending well. I hope he means well. This man hates me so because he wants the lands, and plus he is a pagan. So is the rest of his family. But do come in. Glad that you show your submission to the crown. But beware of factions. I've been made aware that Khaganate is very close to his friend Gurli, North skating. Getting her favor might help me to catch his attention. I mean, I knew she was giant because I noticed she's taller than her. She's taller than her. But she is honest, generous, so she's a very nice person. A little hook on me doesn't hurt anybody. She's from Glasgow, but however, lives in the Temple of Glasgow, so it's too far from contact of any kind. How did they even meet? Next time we meet, Khatun offers me a wider smile than usual. My friend Gurli told me how you helped her and I want to offer my thanks. Anything for a friend of Khatun's. Blessed fine mace. This is a mace of old, blessed by the shamans. This is a weapon of our ancestors, but it's too expensive, so we will miss that old mace. Incorruptible officials of Somogi. The officials of Somogi gain a reputation for being honest and incorruptible, focusing on what is good for the community and not their own interests. Whether such an assessment is accurate or not, sure reflects on me and my administration. Let's analyze their success and apply those lessons elsewhere. So I'll be studying in addition to having incorruptible officials. That reminds me. Huh? Zonggao. There are those who say China, the Middle Kingdom, is the most civilized of nations, and its laws are the most just, its officials the most righteous, its land the most prosperous, its people the most virtuous, its culture the most refined. Surely this must be true. We should be proud of our Greco-Pannonian Avar ways too. Oh, they are building a large city just now. And you need money for that. The celebrations come to an end at this, and the evening's entertainment seem to be over, when Khaganate suggested a reading. A clerk soon arrives, wondering what the guests would like to hear. I see my chance to impress Khatun. Rational adventure. Not sure. Let's be entertained. East of Indus. As the clerk reads to us, he seemed completely engrossed. He later approaches me. Good choice, Katyarika, says his folds arms. It was great, wasn't it? Wants to forge a magnificent weapon. How much? 3. Skill legendary throughout the world. Martial and prowess. More prowess than not. Okay, sponsor it. Gotta give that to her. Something that can both slash and pierce flesh. Give me a dagger or a sword. Just a blade. She is forging a sword. Okay, that's good. Off you pop then. My beloved husband. It's my impeccable husband, Khaganate smiles pleasantly. I drop any pretense of restraint, tearing the blouse of him, putting my hands around his waist, my mouth on his neck. My aching desire gets his own. The love a wife feels for her husband cannot be wrong. Just to lay with him, which means you're more than likely to be pregnant, and I pray for a son. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a daughter that would cause trouble within the Khaganate. My lady, look at that metal. I've never seen such fine quality before. My beneficiary, Elena, breaks away from our market procession at cost of merchant selling the Khaganate. Ecstatic over a find. If this, my project would reach new heights, I could create something truly marvelous. Please, my Khatun, bestow this gift upon me. 1 second. Of course, but sure we can get a fair price. Merchant is convinced to lower the prices. Good. I'm not going to start a war till I reach at least 500 gold. I get scarce to remember what life was like before Amish declared his feelings for me. These days don't bleed so through. With him by my side, everything and anything suddenly seems possible. Wish it could go on like this forever. But deep down I know I must make my choice. Am I brave enough to give him my feelings, or I must shut my heart to him forever? One true love's kiss is all I can give. You're just a soldier. Crash! Where am I? What's going on? I appear in the darkness, my eyes adjusting. God, there's someone by my bedroom window. I scramble out of bed, reaching for the dagger on the nightstand. The intruder grabs my arm, tugs, and I spin out, sinking the blade deep into his stomach. He looks at me for an endlessly long moment. His lips move without a sound, then he falls to the ground. Katyarika, are you alright? By the window stands none other than Amish. Blade in hand, ready to defend me. I throw myself in his arms and holds me tight. We share one kiss, sweet like honey. That abacus means a lot. Get that repaired. It's a very important artifact. Who died? Chancellor. Chinlen's been asking me for a stick horse for a long time. I told her that I would get one for her in 3 months if she displayed more focus in her studies. Ever since I made the promise, she's been redoubling the effort of her studies. Yeah, I would never deceive you. Impatient but trusting. Gambler. Fumbling customer. Just died. Yeah. Well, Nitra's finally gonna be happy with this position. You know, we should be doing that. Trained commanders. It'll reduce our levy size a bit, but there are chances for our knights to be improved in command against command traits and all that. So that way our men will be tougher than ever. I bump into the very grave looking Elena, my weaponsmith, hoping that she doesn't bring in news. My splendid sword, she should have wondered for me. Oh, there you are, my liege. I have hit a wall in my work. Nothing major. My ideas have gone around as fresh her mouth, she laughs. I just need some inspiration. Mighty Khatun, might you have some prior examples I could examine? Yeah, to the armory. I'm sure I got a lot of unused weapons. Elena and I are ushered into my extensive armory, where I point out some of my favorite items hitting at the stores. My weaponsmith pauses, although awestruck, examining my Pannonian Avars crown. Ah, very fine, my liege. Could I use its metal? Do you know what that crown means to me? And that Greek battle axe? But the number of knights. You're just having a look. Hate to do this. Lately, feels like I'm being constantly distracted by vivacious thoughts and erotic fantasies. With all the hardships of my everyday life, it is all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? Huh! Turn Jewish? No. Why on earth would I want to do that? I plan on being Catholic sooner rather than later. Maybe a different kind of outlet will help. Athletic. One of the good ones. Give you a little more prowess. In fact, nothing eases the mind like a raised pulse and a healthy sweat. I'll work my body until my mind is more at ease. Let's go. Heavy as... This is not enough, I think to myself, as I put down a training axe. I've been practicing non-stop and not getting into it. I need a tougher challenge. Yes, something bigger, perhaps heavier. Something sure to tire me out. Oh my goodness. And yes, a good exercise. Lift the chest. Or commission an extra hefty training axe. Hey, Jenna, get over here. I'll lose some of that stress, but there's 64% that the extra challenge invigorates me. 15% chance I'll get hurt. 50% chance that she gets hurt. But 3% chance that we both get hurt. Good exercise. Wow. To my only daughter, I never thought I would be doing that as a form of exercise. Because I'm no longer overwhelmed by stress for now. Doesn't cost much, but I'd rather save it. Ghastly and fury. My lady, my beneficiary Elena approached her, wide grin, sweat dripping down her forehead. and the soot smeared across his face. I toiled over the forge many days and many nights. But finally my work is done. She presents me with an object wrapped cloth as I unveil what is hidden while it grows on. A folded iron sword of masterful craftsmanship. The pommel is in the shape of a series of round lobes inlaid with gold, and the blade is etched to display relief of a wolf's head. Oh wow, this is lovely. It's a pretty good sword, but it could have been better, but I wouldn't sacrifice my Greek battle axe for that weapon. Yeah, why not? It's the dread gain that helps a little bit. God will judge these sinners. It's all because of that. Plan on being gallant all the way. And then soon after that, pick up this just for reduced cash spell cost, because you know, just in case. And then go back to intrigue and be a schemer. An artist of death. A strange mercenary has come to my court from a faraway lands. She is a woman, for one thing, though not too old. She bears a number of battle wounds, and her demeanor suggests she is as tough as nails. She tells me with a bit of honesty, death is my art, and like all artists, I seek her patron. For a mere handful of gold, I will follow you to any danger. Well, only 30 gold. For the next 20 years, dangerous Amazonian bodyguard. One of this ruler's bodyguards is a feared woman who is skilled in blade and bow. Though keeping around is an unorthodox and controversial choice, she has proved to be very capable, and always has an aura of danger and death around her. So few dare to question her openly. That's gonna hurt me for the monthly prestige, but I can get prestige by winning battles and other activities, so I should be fine. She is an unconventional sort, but should look like she'd be a great bodyguard. Yeah, that hurts, but it's not going to affect me in any way, shape, or form. Especially when I become gallant, which will have a much more prestige gain. Recently, pistachios from Bosnia have become very popular in the region. Something must relate to their taste or texture. Imports will likely continue to grow in the coming years. Pistachios in Bosnia and Herzegovina? Well, I think it's because it's the Mediterranean region, so you tend to get Mediterranean cuisine. I mean, I've seen that event before in the old CK2 Republic of Amalfi series, where the series is based in Italy. It's just due to the Mediterranean region as a whole. Alright. See, we're improving knights, knowing that they'll be fighting better and better. And based on those number of soldiers ahead, I'm starting to think we should only use our number of knights to deal with them. They allowed to me, and thank you very much. We'll start the war in March. I'm giving it a few more months. Remember, Serbia for Zelengora and Thessalonica for Ragusa. Training a warhorse. As I inspect the stables, my gaze is drawn to a mare kept away from all the others. She throws her head and stomps her hooves, displaying her powerful hindquarters and well-arched neck. This creature has the best conformations and the worst of tempers. I've never seen such a warhorse before, but the stable master insists that she is impossible to train. I'm not one to back away from the challenge. The horse might become my own steed. The horse pins her ears back as I approach, her disregard for me crystal clear. This first meeting is important to earn her trust and respect. I need to decide how to go about it. I have very high prowess skills, so a steady hand is required to tame this beast. It is a mildly feeling. The powerful horse follows my every whim. Now I've earned their trust and seem almost fond of me. I will keep her as my personal war horse. Yes. Skills from Spouse Counselor's Tasks. Admiring the mare that now follows my every command, I muse what to call her. The mythological world is rich and grander, and names for horses. Let's see. Think another theme for a name would have been better. Name inspired by history. Inspired by the famous horses belonging to leaders and heroes of old, I'll name my heir after mare. Red hair, after the warlord Lu Bu's horse. That's what I'll call it. Line 65. Just before I was gonna start that war, while you know a thing or two about metaphysical conundrums, the Khatun of Kunzakal should possess a broad range of skills on metaphysical conundrums. I could acquire some new tomes, prepare a few assignments, tutor you a little. What subject are you most interested in? Diplomacy. Dubrovnik wants to expand into Travunia, just over there. For Zelangor. We're only raising men-at-arms only, as well as the knights. First things first. Take the capital, then Zelangor. Because that child might be in there. I'll take care of this. Next to our siege weapons, and this place is a much lower garrison than usual. Won't take long. We seized a Bulgarian war banner. More knights? Let me see that. It is usable. 1 second. I would love to do that if I want more knights, even though the ones aren't going to be as skilled. You'll be in simply for the sake of it, in case we do need a couple more. And it's not even a squadron anymore. Now head to take the objective. This is a hostile army. Well, where are Serbian forces? Lesbos. So you're saying they've gone down over there? could be. Stick together. Known for my dedication to faith. There's Serbian forces. Lombard band of Lanciano. What? This is for the first time. You handle the siege. See what we can do about this. Try to convince them to fight against us. We're only sending 15 knights. It says we will win decisively. I took Dylan out with a bow, and to my surprise she ran to wounded doe. As she showed me the animal, its wounds were evidence of a slow torturous death, and she just smiled. Trusting and sadistic, that's contradictory. I'll just say, then show me you could have felled that animal yourself. You be ambitious instead. Maybe make you think you're better than I am. And give me a plain specialist. With reference. The reason why, because we're defending in mountains, defensive buildings, better army commander, me, and so is the army commander traits in higher quality. We're sending a... There's got to be a word for that. It's not a squadron, is that a platoon? What? You're about to see the effectiveness of it, if used right, especially in defensive scenarios. It's a stupid idea, but give it a shot, because we have a lot of advantage. Our knight has been slain by an enemy soldier. Man down! That was the Count of Silistra. And that's the danger of it. When you send those knights into battle. That's the danger of it. Well, we captured enemy commands. Mayor and 2 others. May have lost a leg, but you're doing fine. You look like one of these commanders. Too bad we can't recruit you. But we will sooner rather than later. Now, what would it be like if we were to fight those kind of guys? I mean, it's none of our territory. If used right, if you got a lot of great knights, then you will definitely make the difference. Especially when fighting smaller battles. Especially in defensive ones with the right terrain, defensive buildings, and all other factors. Now head for this area, and we're just gonna scout ahead. I don't know what the attrition damage is gonna do to us. It says takes 14 casualties destroying this army. Whoa there! It says... Right. Okay. Thank you. It took a while. Just doing reconnaissance work. We're not sieging. We're just trying to find where the enemy is. So just be careful when you go behind enemy lines, especially during the winter. Look, we found them. Get them while they're trying to be deployed. Because we have the advantage. Because they're gathering. Got him where we want. Captured its mayor. Oh, it's him again. We'll ransom him. Just a little bit of money for that. You already have Hotza, and now Priapolia. Priapolia. That's the name of the place. The supposed forces of Sin. In the past few months, the town of Smogay suffered quite a scare. Townspeople heard strange and inhuman sounds at night, and the feared Sin was up to something. Prayers were offered, nightly patrols were increased, and so on. However, by chance, it was eventually discovered that it was the source of all this ruckus were several crafty youths who, with nothing better to do, pranked the town at everyone else's expense. The boys are under arrest, and their fate is now in my hands. Imprison them for the crime. Just because I'm generous doesn't mean I'm a nice person. Stop right there. That will kill it. %, 100%. Zalangora is ours. And whoever was the owner of it, now you serve under him. And ransom. That's how you use it. Of using your knights as like a special forces, unit. Because it all depends on the prowess skill of each and every one of these characters, as well as the knight effectiveness due to many factors. That frontline commander thing is because of the mod I use for better battles. Especially that we're still a warlike court from the domain, House of Warriors Dynasty Legacy, the right to prove cultural tradition, which involves shield maintenance but increases effectiveness to make up for it, from training commanders by the Marshal, and chivalric dominance perk due to chivalry. And you gotta treat them as such. Now, getting ahead. A flock of robed men bursts on my throne, hectically searching the floor and uprooting everything from chairs to skirts in frantic search. Khatun Katiarika, cries one. We are followers of Keza the Headless, a great holy man who has been decapitated as part of the prophecy God gave him at birth. As it often happens with holy figures, his head started rolling away. He had been chasing it through the sand and turned rolled up into Hilligreer Castle. You know, for once, let me join in your search. Cultists cause a mess. Oh, good. Fast and Fury. We could do that war as well. But please wait until they are reinforced all the way. Okay, now we could do it. Duchy of Dubrovnik, County of Ragusa, they both cost the same. Men-at-arms only, plus knights. One second. Oh, I guess they're gone. I was looking for a certain someone. I have a son. Oh. Oh. He's a genius, but he's robust, but he's a bleeder, so he has some health penalty, so... Well, take what you can get, alright? But I hope he'll be resilient. So medium versus severe, which means he has a tiny health penalty at this point due to his... Just take what you could get. Karan. Not Koran. Karan. Karan. Right, while we besiege the objective. Alright, boys. We're gonna send you to go deep behind enemy lines, find the army, come back to us if you find any trouble. Scout out Albania, of the lands of, what is it called? Dracula. I was about to say Albania because it's where it is in modern day. Whoa there! Ah, shoot. Chances are even. They got more soldiers. Army of Ragusa and an Avar band of Heves. Oh, what have we got ourselves into? And don't forget that she's reckless. Better army command. Captain Latoya. Who is that man? Egads. Holy warrior. Do I actually want to get involved or let the man do his job? I mean, he's with us. Just enemy fatal casualties, fatal casualties. We can find it in the plains. You know what? Let him handle this. This is definitely out of my league. Actually, we can stop here. We can go around instead. Unless you want to wait for winter, but the terrain of this land tends to be temperate. Because you don't ever see winter down in Dukla, except in the Thai Mountains, so go around it. They're not the enemy. Let's go down this path through Skadar. And then we'll have a... Oh, crud, we may have to change that once you get there, okay? Again, we're advanced recon unit here. Trust me, people, I've done something like this before in my past series. Especially from the Pannonian Avars series, that Indian series where I did something like this. Now, in 2 years' time, I will have Gallant. Just find the enemy and then get out of here. That's our job. We're looking for the Thessaloniki army. But I fear that they might be out there somewhere. So, head through here. In this, this is part called... This is a part of Bulgaria. Bulgaria proper. What you doing? Oh yeah, it's that issue. We found them. Contact. But the problem is, they have a very high advantage. He's a military man at heart, and he's Gallant. A military engineer. He's one-legged, though. And also a drunk. Constant care. Just trail behind him. If there is a place to hold, don't stay in these baronies, because the advantage would be... Well, it's Bulgarian territory, so neither side has the advantage. Except who gets to hold the terrain. We just gotta keep track of them. Okay? Just follow them. Although we might lose sight of them. Okay, we have sight of them again. They're going up to the mountains. Rashka region. But if we were to fight now, the chances are even. Unless we gotta lure them over here. But that chance isn't happening. Let them go. I think they're heading to Bosnia. We'll probably win. Because they may have the heights, but it's winter and I'm a winter soldier. And we'll move a little bit faster by winter. So I think we should go parallel. Run parallel. We'll move faster in winter. They're gonna have the mountains soon. So continue on your path. Maybe we'll head to Khatun. No, they're not. They're not heading to Khatun. They're gonna go through Gorazde, and then no doubt they'll meet in so head to Bosnia. That's their likely target. We've taken control of the objective. The only logical place to besiege is down there, but we'd be taking casualties, so if I were you, I would stay in friendly territory so the men-at-arms can refill themselves. So that way everything will be just fine. just fine. As stated before, of how everything works in this kind of warfare that we have never experienced something before, or we're trying. See what I tell you. So, they will reach Verbosna in 20 days, and we'll be there in 20 days also. It's still winter, and we're moving very fast, because I know how the winter works. Even though I am considered reckless. "9 days left. We'll be there in 8 days. We'll beat them to it. They may have more soldiers, but they'll be crossing a river. We have the mountains, defensive buildings, more commander traits, higher quality, as it's knights only." Which just pretty much tells you about that. So, let's get this battle going. Now, can 15 of the elite go up against the despot and his army, and his 8 knights? We shall see. This battle will begin in 2 days in Verbosna. 15 knights versus over 2,000 men. Our knight maimed one of them, but one of our men's been wounded. What do you just call my aunt, you pig? Slow down a bit so we can have an understanding. Well, the mayor has killed the count there. Our knight's been wounded. Duke. Killing some of the retreating levies. See that? Amazing. So, slain by Mayor Sandelik of Zonok. And this is their total kills. Again, 15 elite men against nearly 2,000 theirs, and only killed over 600 of them. 1 knight included. And they weren't able to kill any of them, because all the knights lived. Again, read the events. So, again, Dux was wounded by an enemy soldier, which he has been disfigured, but our court physician fixed him up, and he'll be ready for combat again, but he's just not gonna look good, nor to his old wife. Though he already has 1 child, which, well, he'll succeed him, no doubt. Our knight maimed Pieros there, which he did maim him, and due to him being a drunk, he's not gonna survive this after this war. And our knight was wounded, but however, he's a bit slow-minded, but despite the fact that he was an irritable, slow man, but you made him mad, and so he killed one of them. So that's the result with this. You done made him mad. And after all, he's a callous maniac, as they called him that. It's amazing, really. Again, I've done this before with that Indian series, but I've never done it this much here in Europe. India was much more suitable because now we had a very chivalrous ruler, but also the terrain of hills and jungles. But here is the mountains of the northwestern Balkans, of the Dinaric Alps, in fact. So we will We follow them while they'll hold the line. It's no longer winter, so that we know, you know. How you doing out there? Now, okay, let's find a new path. Easy to take. Wish there was a better path. But if you want to go the long way around, fine by me. You can take the hits. Just take Kruya for more of the So we'll be heading down to Strumica. We'll probably win. Oh hell. They're in the way. Okay, new path to take. Take Lizette, then Kruya, and you'll be fine. But you might encounter them in a few days. Head to Mat. I think they're going down to Drakian. Actually rethink this. Crud, nowhere to go. Head to Deba. Come on, where are you guys going? Keep them in our sights. This is neutral ground. We have mountains, therefore we have the advantage. There is no river cross as far as we can see, so we either stand in Debar or in Kichevo. So we'll see where they go from here. We don't have the winter advantage anymore, as it is middle of summer. Yep, they're coming up here. We'll have the mountains. We'll probably win. We didn't take any casualties, just only wounds. Including one that got disfigured, but we patched him up. He'll be alright. I think I lost one of them, man. That man's gonna get himself killed. Again, this is middle of summer. I don't have much advantage as I used to. But you just wait until I become gallant. Where we'll have a little more martial and more prowess, should I ever get involved in one of those battlefield duels. But how about we add more to this advantage? Chivalry. Wait until the movement is locked. I got a trick up on my sleeve. They'll be there in 19 days. Movement locked. Okay. I have an advantage of 36. Add this. And you have the advantage of 41. Thanks to your increased martial skill. Increased advantage when commanding armies in combat. We stand between them and Medusa, so we'll fend them off. Only one. We got him! I surveyed the battlefield, contemplating how this battle will be remembered. Gazed towards the dead that remain. I noticed a group of my soldiers approach and politely bow before me. My lady, we came upon the enemy banner while we were cleaning the battlefield. We thought it would be a shame to leave it behind. Perhaps you'll keep it as a trophy. I already have something better. Put on a celebration card. We don't need this useless token. So as they were retreating, we caught the despot. Ragusa is ours. After a year and a month. You men are the elite. Now we have 100% digital control of the Khaganate of Croatia. That was brilliant. You see, that's why I decided rely on knights and don't use the entire whole levies thing, because it's a cost-cutting measure, because I'm generous. We're trying to cut costs of the military. And to make up for it, we decided to strengthen our knights to be the best combatants in the world. And we truly showed them. That's how you do it. Right. Now, let's hold court at the beginning of September. But first, as I make my way to the stable, I'm greeted by the happiness of red hair. She seems eager to stretch her legs in the beautiful weather, as I can do nothing but agree. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Put that back. The day is too fine not to be appreciated properly. I should go hunting after I hold court. Civic rivalry. Mayor Ipico, who's been clearly working herself about something, greets me. My Khatun, the dogs of Khatun think you're better than us, she spews, cracking their haughty jokes each market day. Mayor Nani, the obnoxious knave, needs to be put in his place, and those damnable fools made respect Pest, the leading city of Visegrad. That's kind of foreshadowing if you know Hungarian history regarding the city of Pest. Will you stop this foolishness? Where did it begin? There's no need to sell for a duel. Civic average 15 years. Frontier fracas. The next petitioner is evidently somewhat of a stranger in this court, as I do not recognize him, and the eyes of Marshal Tigami have been on him since they first entered. My lady, I've come to declare that the people of Bakhmut are refusing to pay their taxes you have levied upon us. In times past, our landed people were granted rights and privileges which are recent exaltations ignored. We request you to address our concerns fairly, or else. That sounds good. We'll give that a try. Trick the ringleaders into an ambush. I'll successfully trick the leaders of the tax revolt into an ambush, cementing my reputation as a skilled intriguer. I will find it easy to convince people to join your schemes. 1 second. See if it improves percentages. It does. Oh, crud. Well, at least we tried. A church for Bosnia. My patriarch, Tomislav, now bows before me, eager to begin a proposal. My lady, your county of Bosnia lacks a significant church which locals can pray and honor the Lord. You must fund a new house of worship in Rokotica for the good of the Orthodox faith. For the glory of God. That reminds me. We are building it here in Rokotica for this temple. Yes, that reminds me. Now that we have a lot of piety, this is something I wanted to do in this episode, and I would not want to end the episode without this tournament event. Again, we're not going to be Orthodox anymore because there is no way that Orthodoxy can be restored in the Byzantine Empire. It's all Armenian Apostolic now. But now here's the difference. The apostolic faith has anaconism, which they're basically iconoclasts. They have communal identity and communion. While Catholicism does have communion, but monasticism and so armed pilgrimages, which allows them to start a crusade should the Pope begin any kind of crusade. And I would be willing to join, especially sending my special forces. And plus, they have the holy sites. I mean, the apostolics only hold this. It would have been nice to have Antioch. I mean, the night effectiveness. But we don't have that luxury. And we don't plan on getting Antioch. Catholicism is not interested in Antioch. What they do have is controlled growth, cultural fascination progress slightly, development growth with stewardship, and Santiago, which gives us a reduction cost to hire a holy order, and supplies last longer, especially out on expeditionary wars. Canterbury needs to be retaken if those Anglo-Saxons over there don't try to get it back from those naked bandits out there. So with that, we will convert to the faith. 22 out of 33 vassals will convert. Those that do not either hate me, or they're zealous, or indifferent, but I don't really care, quite honestly. They can convert at any given time, if they wish to. We will not impose them, especially down in Wallachia, which will remain an Orthodox Khanate. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will become Catholic, as promised from back in the earlier part of this series. We only became Orthodox originally because of cultural fascination. We are past that now. So we must have the benefits of the holy sites to help us out a little. With my decision to convert to Catholicism, I arranged for a priest to come to my court and conduct the rites. With the fate of my immortal soul in question, I can only pray that I made the right decision. Metaphysica aside, I can take comfort knowing that the majority of the realm stands united under God, a true Catholic realm. At least I have Sartats with me to guide me. It's just a courtier. I wish he was my whatever, but this is our patriarch. Not to be confused with the Orthodox patriarch, but this is just a name for any empire tier. I was about to say court champions, but they're more like, well, there's a word for that. He's a monk nonetheless. So get with the program, people. We're all Catholics now. The age of orthodoxy of this empire is over. Apostolic is the future of the Roman Empire, or it could also be known as the Armenian Empire. I mean, they did expand it to Hayastan, which overtakes the Armenian principalities. I think they do have 100% control there. Oh yes, and another thing. Time to go hunting. Gotta reduce that stress by a lot. Because it's about dang time. Wildflowers. This hunting trip has been less than fruitful so far. Some of our party appear to have given up completely, or are attempting at making the best of a lovely day outside. What on earth is my martial Tigme doing? It's crouched down on the ground, humming cheerfully. My lady. Look, there are many useful herbs and flowers here. This one could soothe aches, while this one aids in recovery of a broken clavicle. This one said to ward off bubonic plague. He keeps babbling on about the plants he collected instead of being on the lookout for prey. Again, he's one of the best men. It would not be wise to make him mad. Fascinating. What about that flower? Oh boy. I feared this would come to this. But let's make our desperate chance to try to save this. And I do wish to develop the capital, which would do make me stressed. But we will host a grand feast because I am generous. So this is our last plea to please the vassals. Especially that they resent me as not only a woman, but also a first Catholic too. A first Catholic ruler of the Khaganate. Guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright and spirits high as the feast begins. Those that decline to invite the pagan and the two Orthodox rulers, including the Khan. Welcome, friends. The Sami Bedyamin culture. Oh, not the dagger Rostam again. I'm gonna make him feel better. Why don't you let him provoke it, Duke Chat? It may look like it's spelled cat, but it's Chat. Like the Saltian woman's name. You might be a Khatun, but you're also a loathsome witch. The unprovoked anger expressed by my vassal Mayor Sandili comes as a complete surprise. He's been under a lot of stress lately, but when asked to explain himself, he only doubled down on the insults. Again, you fought well. I'll give it as good as I get, knave. How about our disagreements? After an extensive conversation of our delectable dishes, Duke Chat expresses that he finds the most learned and wise. My utterances are always inestimable worth to those less well-read than I. He recognizes true intellect, I see. With all my guests leaving my castle with the entire contents of my vast pantry and devours, I'm proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my husband Khatun to thank for much of its success. I feel nothing but gratitude as he see the last few guests off. Till next time. We hope that'll calm some of them down. And did. Thank God. I'll tell you what, I will end this episode after I get the gallant trait. I want to cut it short. Because really, that episode was largely about, finishing these conquests, but also to see our, knights be fighting so effectively. And now that we are Catholic, no doubt this would bolster the Pope's coffers and maybe calls for a future crusade. I'll be more than happy to take part. An elusive shadow, I see. But you're not good enough to be a shield maiden. Where's my son, Karan? As he is young, but however, he is a bleeder, which the vassals won't like that. But he's a genius, so he'll figure something out in his future. why not? Get that fixed. Has some use to us. We've been getting rid of a lot of junk lately. There goes Biljana the Executioner. My vassal Duchess looks red hair up and down, nodding approval. Some mighty fine air you have there, my Khatun. Mighty fine air, Mary, you have here. And if you allow me to take a ride, I'd be very grateful. She's of the old Avar culture. No one rides the red air but me. Guards, pay up. We cook, okay. It's a fellow family member. Kinswoman. Daughter. Gained a favor hook on him instead. Tabar just passed. Rather have a very good steward. And since I urged the development of our capital of Visegrad, it only has a slight monthly growth, but I want more. I want this to be the very center. Center of everything. Now you are gallant. March +2, France +4, but the monthly prestige up especially. Which means you'll be getting a lot more prestige in no time. Especially with more knights ready to serve you at your whim. Actually, I should keep the focus up. Get this and that. You know, that whole, like, we gotta move fast, you know, outpace the enemy, you know, especially when we outrun with our knights. I think we should have those too. Especially reducing retreat losses so our knights won't, you know, back out during the fight. Or maybe I should be a strategist, even though I'm not a martial educated ruler. I'm just setting a good example of what is she capable of, especially with our generation of knights. So we'll end this episode on January of 1081. Aspiring Blade Master. Excellent. So we hope you people have enjoyed this episode, and one can only hope in our next episode that we'll be intervening other countries' wars. And may never know that later on, and we'll see too that we will go on a crusade somewhere. Unless we want to go to, oh dear, to that part of the world where it's starting to get pretty precarious over there. Of what's been going on over there. Descendants of the Umayyads are still holding on, and they're expanding up, as if they want to avenge the Battle of Tours. Especially up in England. Again, we do not have contact with any of them in the British Isles because of our distance. But I wish that we could intervene and defeat the Adamites there, but that's up to them. And all that and more in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.